So now that this has dried, I have loaded my black paint up with water, and I pulled out a different couple of brushes, but if you only have the one that came with your painting kit, that's fine. And then grab your paper towel, and then you are going to paint in what would be the silhouette of your land and what other objects you have. Are you having animals, trees, vehicles, houses, buildings, a farm scene, a wildlife scene? It's up to you what you would like, but you'll have one going in this horizontal format, and then you'll do one that's in this vertical format, and then we'll move on to our color ones. So let's get started. For this horizontal one, I'm going to do some land, and then I'll do a couple of different types of trees for you. And I'm starting off with a skinnier brush, but you could do them with all different types. I have a fan brush, which is good for pine trees, and then this would color in faster your solid areas. I have wet my paint, and I'm just gonna start marking things out so I know where to go. If you want to do this with pencil, you can. So I'm thinking, don't do it halfway. We want to go in third sections. So somewhere around this area. And yours does not have to look like mine, but I'm just planning things out. So I have something that's not perfectly straight across, because the horizon doesn't always have to be a perfect line going across. And then I'm going to put some trees here and do like a smaller tree or so in the background and stuff. So I'm going to take my brush and then just keep adding water to your paint if you need to, because it is watercolor, and once you're using it, it's going to start drying up, so just reload your brush. And you may need to let this dry around and then go back over it. Also, I'm going to follow kind of that curve of what the hill would be, so when it dries, it will also give that some texture to the land. And we're not just going to paint this black, we're also going to then, after it dries, go in and add little touches of color, and that is what is going to set off your silhouettes compared to another person's. Start your tree with very light lines, and start wider at the bottom, and then a loose line going upwards. And when doing branches, think of them as like your fingers, where they're branching outwards, and what would be your arm and wrist would be the trunk of the tree. So these are going out this way, and you don't have to have the same ones I do, but then think of them as going into Y's or V's, and they just keep getting smaller and smaller. So I'm lightly loading my brush and then giving it wavy lines. They can go on top of each other, maybe a little bit wider, closer to the trunk. And I'm just barely touching it with this part of the paintbrush right here, so it can get those little tiny lines. If you wanted to put in like an owl or a bird's nest or something in it, an eagle. And I'm just having it to where it's not having the leaves on the tree, but you could do that. Here it looked a little bit too thin, so now I'm going to thicken that one up. Now that we have a branch that comes out and over this way.